Salutations, my name is Summer and this is Reading with Quaker Cats, and there's my Sylvie, and Randall is feeling better and he's up here with me too. I want to talk about what I've been reading this week. I actually finished To Find Balance by this author. This book was a roller coaster. There are very few moments where you feel like there's hope and things are okay, and then all these things happen and it's just one devastating thing after another. I really enjoyed the characters, which the main characters I think about is Dinah. I'm not for sure how to pronounce her name. I don't count her brother as a main character, because besides in the beginning, he's kind of like just off to the side, really, with his wife and kids. But anyway, Manek, who was a young man who boarded with Dinah for a while, and then Ishtar and Om, who were tailors that worked for Dinah. Those are our four characters that I feel like are the main characters, but you do have all these little side characters like the Monkey Man and Beggar Master or something. this guy who was kind of like a pimp to the beggars, would take money from them and then protect them too, in a weird way how it was all working. I loved this book. I plan to reread it at some point, not right anytime soon, but at some point it's going on my shelf. But because I think in a reread, I'll get so much more, in the sense of, like, right now, I'm just so upset what happened to Om. But he didn't seem that upset about it. And then Ishtar, Om's uncle, he was like my favorite character once I met him. I loved him, because he did try his best, and he just was a good person. And then what happened to him, and then the very ending. The thing is out of the four, Minek had the most, he could have had the brightest future out of all of them. And then he makes the choice that he made, where he couldn't handle what had happened in his past and what was happening right then in the present. So yeah, without giving anything away to those who have not read this book, there's just so much. The characters are so great. There's so much corruption and devastation in the lives of the people that you meet in this novel. I'm shocked it's 1975 in India, because I was born in 1979, and it just feels like so much farther away. But I mean, it's been almost 50 years, I guess. I mean, well, I'm 47, so it'd be like 45 years or something. Anyway, but yeah, this was recommended to me by a couple different people, and then I had other people say they really enjoyed it. And it is definitely a wonderful read in such a heartbreaking way. So there's a book that I've decided not to continue on with, and it is Prophet in the Wilderness, and I'll show you again. The author's name Herman Hagedorn, and it's the story of Albert Schweitzer. I'm not for sure how to pronounce his name. So I am definitely going to be reading something else about Albert Schweitzer, just not this author. It's like the author worshipped Albert, and I just do not like having such of a biased and flowery and just like gushing about him in almost a way that makes him like he idolizes him, and I just don't like that at all. So this is going back to the library, but I do want to read something about Albert. I'm probably mispronouncing his last name, but you saw it. So what I'm focusing on this week is I am reading The Talisman by Stephen King and Peter Straub. Oh my goodness, guys. I have met Wolf, for those of you who have read this. And I love Wolf. I was very scared about Wolf. I feel like The Shed made perfect sense, except I would have been like, I gotta have water. I gotta have some things. But he's 12 years old. I keep forgetting Jack is 12 years old. But I love Wolf's character. And right now, they have met, I keep forgetting his name. It's that Sunshine guy who's like dressed all in white, who runs that like boys' school, which is like a prison. They are there. Yeah, I'm finishing A Collision of Worlds. I'm finishing chapter 21. And the title of that one was called, his name, The Sunlight Home is what that chapter was called. And Wolf is like, we got to get out of here. And I'm like, yeah, you guys need to get out of here. Anyway, I am right here. This is just like things that I marked. So I'm almost I'm halfway probably. I'm on 360. I am really enjoying this. You know, there's times when I think, like, why didn't he just go back home? His mom was like this actress. She's very ill, but I thought I'm sure that they have money. I just had that feeling since she like stays in a hotel. I would be like, hey, can you drive me to where he needs to go to search for this talisman? And then I thought, well, that's not much of a story, is it? If you just make it easy. So instead of trying to put it in my head of why didn't he do this, why didn't he do that, I am now just enjoying the ride. One thing Stephen King and Peter Straub do very well, because it happens many times in this book, is they're good at scaring me. Actually, the writing, I have a great imagination anyway, but the writing is so good at putting you in that, like in Jack's place, you know, and I'm seeing what he's seeing. I'm thinking, I'm like feeling all these things in these really scary moments. So they're very good at that. Anyway, that's what I'm continuing on reading for this coming week. And also, I'm going to be continuing on my buddy read of Pot Luck by Emile Zola. I'm only on page 60 of this book. This book actually is starting to feel like a series, because we are continuing on from the last book, which was like The Conquest of Plaisance, or I don't know how to pronounce it. I think French is one of the hardest languages to pronounce, because I'm like, do I drop this letter? Anyway, so yeah, I should look up how to pronounce that. But anyway, we are following the family. So, in a way that makes sense. And also they're talking about our main character who is in the family. He works at the Ladies' Paradise, which is like a shop that has like tailors and all that kind of stuff. I have the next book, The Paradise. So, and I watched the BBC series, so that's really exciting. But anyway, yeah, that is the two things that I plan to continue on this week. So anyway, let me know how you guys are doing and what you've been reading. Hopefully you all have been having a very nice week, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.